Hi everyone, I'm back again with my second presentation. So this is related to publication process for manuscripts. So I'll just share my screen with all of you. Give me a minute. Okay. So I hope this is viewable to all of you. Okay. So here I would briefly talk about different types of manuscripts we have. How should we select the journals? What are the standards in practice? Are medical writers authors? And then what are the checklists we have? Lay summaries and publications too. So there are, in general, four types of manuscripts. I have not included editorials because editorials I can cover in review articles as well. So there are four types of manuscripts I consider. One is original research, the research that we all conduct, wherein we have a protocol, a statistical analysis plan, and then there are several aspects how we would be disclosing our results too, right? So these are original research, and then there would be review articles as well. Review articles are something that several research questions, if these can be combined into one, and these aspects can be reviewed first, and an article is prepared based on that. So meta-analysis, systematic literature review, systematic reviews, these are all part of review articles. There would be certain case reports as well. In medical literature, if you would see, so case reports are of highest importance because many of the physicians, they publish case reports of their patients in medical journals. So case reports are also important for us. Then systematic reviews and meta-analysis, I have separated it as from review articles as such, although I briefly talked about review articles in that. So the difference is that if any statistical aspect, how you would be considering in the results you have found from your literature review. So these can be evaluated under systematic reviews and meta-analysis as well. So that would be another aspect of the manuscript. In addition to that, currently you may have seen many of the journals, they are considering plain language summaries as well. Plain language summaries are that if somebody who is not scientifically qualified, or a member of the public who does not, he is not too literate, he understands aspects, but he is not able to understand science to the extent others who are scientifically qualified would be able to. Correct. So in European region, it is said that if somebody who is an eighth grade student, he should be able to understand the aspects of the manuscripts or the aspects of research that you have conducted. So it should be written considering that person, an eighth grade student. So that is plain language summaries. That means something that you are writing for lay language people, right? And then plain language for publications are very important because there are several journals who are considering this aspect now. This may have improved their distribution of their journals, readership, and other aspects as well. So now coming to journal selection. Publication in a good journal is important because first, it validates research findings, advances knowledge, and creates and promotes future collaborations. So as a researcher, we want our scientific research to be validated by others. And that's why we want it to be published in a good journal. Secondly, we want to create awareness about our research because that knowledge should be known to others too. So it advances knowledge of others. Then it also creates and promotes future collaborations. So that is another important aspect of the research. So if our research is being read by somebody in a developed country, so they may want to collaborate with us because there may be certain aspects of our research important to them. right? So we can get a significant platform. So it is very important to publish whatever we are conducting in our research. So how to select a journal? First thing very important is that we should consider the type of article in our research area. Then, is our article ready for submission? So once we have prepared the article, we need to see that based on the journal's requirement, do we have everything in our article? Have we included all the aspects? Have we considered everything that is needed by them? That's why we should evaluate certain pre-submission requirement that the journals may have published for them. Then we should also consider our audience, that who is going to read our article, right? So we need to understand that what is the viewership of that particular journal, what kind of articles are published in that. So that's also very important. Then we should check the journal metrics, that what is the periodicity, what is the acceptance rate, and how much time the journal takes in publishing, right? So periodicity, acceptance, and time taken in publication, all these aspects are very important to consider when you are ready to submit your manuscript in a journal. In addition, currently in the current era, you would see many of the scientists, they are talking about open access. There may be a specific fee associated with open access. So this fee may be charged by certain journals from the authors, right? So that means authors will have to have funders who can fund that whenever you are submitting your article. So at that time, you should also have the funder to support if your journal is open access but charges a publication fee. So that is there. One very important thing to consider is that don't fall for predatory publishers. We all, I am quoting, that we all may have had such situation wherein you may have been contacted by certain journals whose name you may not have even heard of, that publish with us. We would be publishing within just a couple of days. So sometimes when we want to publish our research, we just fall for that within some days our research would be published. So don't fall for that. Wait, because you have conducted a good research, and therefore your publication should also be accepted by a good journal. We had a brief session. We had understood this thing in one of the previous sessions that we had just today. So we need to consider the standards set by ICMJ criteria. So they have given certain recommendations for conduct, reporting, editing, and publication of scholarly work in medical journals. The other thing we have recommended is best practice and ethical standards in the conduct and reporting of research and other material published in medical journals. Then they also help authors, editors, and others involved in peer review and biomedical publishing to create and distribute accurate, clear, reproducible, unbiased medical journal articles. So this is this ICMJ criteria, if you would be reading. So it is very important to understand that how they are giving anything specific for authorship, how they are describing the conduct, ethical conduct, how they are providing that what practices should be followed by the writers and those who are involved in the preparation of the manuscript. Coming to medical writers, are they authors? So we had seen that what is the definition of being an author. So there are four different aspects involved: substantial contribution to the conception or design of the work, or the acquisition, analysis, or interpretation of data for work, drafting the work or revising it critically for important intellectual content, final approval of the version to be published, agreement to be accountable for all aspects of the work in ensuring that questions related to the accuracy or integrity of any part of the work are appropriately investigated and resolved. Correct? So if you meet all of these 4 criteria, you can be the author. So whenever you are considering certain people for being the author for your manuscript along with you as co-authors, in that case, they should all be qualified on these 4 parameters. So where do you think medical writers fit in the above criteria? Yes, medical writers cannot be an authors, but they can be acknowledged because they are supporting us in preparation of the manuscript. So medical writers word I'm using for those who are writing for medical journals, but otherwise also if you have taken substantial help from someone for preparation of your article, you should be acknowledging the person. Structured and advised by ICMJ is introduction, material and methods, results, and discussion. So it is called as IMRAD. And this particular structure, it is being followed by majority of the journals, and it helps you prepare one structured abstract. There are several checklists. So there are 4 types of uh, articles I had talked about earlier. So if the trial is a randomized one, study is a randomized one, we should follow the consort. If there is any observational study, so it would be STROBE. If there is any specific systematic review, it would be PRISMA. If it is study protocols, then it would be SPIRIT. So these would be the checklist we would be following. So we need to learn about good publication practices. We had the previous session wherein we had learned about it. So Equator Network also I introduced you to earlier, wherein it gives certain checklist which may be very useful for you to prepare your journal. Appropriate length of a manuscript, it may be, or I would say that generally it should be up to 3,000 words, wherein title can be of up to 20 words, abstract up to 250 words, introduction up to 400 words. But yes, certain journals may want you to prepare introduction section in lesser or maybe in a more number of words, right? Then material and methods, this should also be 400 words, research should be 500 to 800 words, discussion should be 500 to 1000 words, and then finally conclusion 150 words. If you want to write discussion conclusion together, just add the number of words to your discussion section. So in terms of planning process, and here I have given the reference from where I have taken this particular image, and this was very useful to help one understand about the planning process. So first thing, our research get proposed, funded, and reported on. Evaluation, academic works are evaluated by quality and edited by their peers. Then publication, a publisher provides editing, layout, and publication services if it is needed. Otherwise, we will have to take care of that, but publication would be publishing it. Dissemination and access, works are distributed in print or online through libraries, retailers, and the web. And then copies or version of the work may be saved for posterity. And then reuse, work gets read, cited, and recombined. So it is not only the planning process, half of this would be planning process and half of this would be that how it would be reused, how it would be preserved, and how it would be disseminated. So all these things would be coming into the planning, that when you are considering the journal, when you are publishing it, so at that time you need to consider these 3 aspects, the half of this image as well. Coming to publishing process, so it's very easy to understand from this particular layout. So author submits manuscript to the journal. We have submitted it. The journal screens the manuscript. If they find it suitable, so they consider it, it would move ahead. If not, your manuscript gets rejected. And that's why it is very important to understand that journal selection is one very important aspect when we are planning our manuscript, because we need to know our kind of research, where would what are the journals that would be accepting it. So that's there. So this has to be taken care of by all the authors to understand that what should be the journal we should be submitting to. If it is rejected, then maybe we should consider another journal for submission. So the process again would go here from step one. Now, if your manuscript has been accepted by a journal, then it would be peer reviewed. The paper is sent for peer review to 2 or more reviewers. They would be reviewing it. The reviewers check the paper and share their comments and recommendations with the journal editor. So it's not that you directly get in touch with them. So it would be editors who would be getting the response. It would be the editor who would be sending it for review, peer review for to certain SMEs in that particular area, and then it would be coming back to you, their comments. And it would be the editor with whom you would be liaising, but not directly with the reviewers. Then you receive their anonymized comments. So the journal editor checks the reviewer's report and recommendation, submits it to the author. If there is nothing, then they accept without changes, revise and resubmit, reject. If they do not feel that this is for their paper, it gets rejected. Otherwise, in round two, the reviewers, once you have updated the paper, the reviewers check the paper once again. The journal editor asks the author to make relevant changes. So that is done. The author revised the paper and send it back to the journal. The journal editor makes the final decision about the manuscript. So this can either be accepted or it can be rejected. However, if you are making a good manuscript since the beginning, there are high chances of getting it accepted. So the very important thing is journal selection, then following all the ethical processes, creating all the forms that are needed by the journal. So those forms need to be signed off or prepared by all the authors. The other thing is, it is very important to understand the reviewers' comments. So peer reviewers, whatever they have reviewed and provided their recommendation or their comments. So we should consider their perspective as well and revise our paper accordingly. So I think this sums up the whole process of publishing. If there are any questions, definitely you can write to me. I have given my email ID on the last slide. Thank you so much.